We believed the universe was perfectly stable. But the James Webb Space Telescope just proved our fundamental laws of physics are actively breaking apart. The lambda cold dark matter model rested on one certainty: a stretching, predictable universe. But when this omniscient eye stared into the local void, it found the fabric of reality unraveling far faster than our physics allows. If the ancient light from 13.8 billion years ago sets a strict cosmic speed limit that our modern galaxies are now breaking, what invisible architecture is tearing the universe apart? The implications of this discovery reach far beyond a simple miscalculation. We are standing at the absolute limit of human knowledge, watching the framework of our reality quietly fracture. The very structure of space-time is shifting beneath our feet, proving that the deep cosmos is far more dangerous and alive than we ever dared to imagine. To understand this fracture, we must look at the pristine foundation of the old model. For decades, cosmologists leaned on the European Space Agency's Planck satellite, trusting its instruments completely to read the cosmic microwave background with total precision. This sprawling dataset is the fading, luminous thermal whisper left over from the very dawn of time. It is an ancient photograph of the cosmos, taken long before the first stars ever sparked to life. It is a frozen snapshot of the young, cooling universe. Planck's ultra-precise sensors measured this ancient radiation and produced a flawless mathematical prediction. The precision of this ancient light leaves absolutely no room for doubt. Based on the density of the primordial plasma, the void should be expanding at a rate of exactly 67.4 kilometers per second per megaparsec. This number became the absolute bedrock of modern astrophysics. It was elegant, precise, and deeply reassuring. But then astronomers began to measure the exact same expansion in the local modern universe, and the bedrock cracked. They built a magnificent cosmic distance ladder using Cepheid variable stars. These radiant objects pulse with a mesmerizing, predictable rhythm. Astronomers paired them with Type 1a supernovae, which explode with a devastating uniform brilliance. By observing these radiant objects, scientists can track exactly how fast nearby galaxies are drifting away across the cosmic ocean. The local void is not moving at 67.4. It is tearing itself outward significantly faster, refusing to match the primordial mathematical rules. The ancient signal and the modern measurement speak different languages. This haunting contradiction strips away our illusion of control, leaving the absolute laws of physics suspended in the dark. Every galaxy we map only confirms the depth of the fracture. The cracks in this cosmic ladder run deeper than anyone expected, and the next piece of evidence is even harder to explain. Subscribe and turn on notifications now so you don't miss where this goes. For years, researchers desperately assumed this discrepancy was merely a human flaw. They hoped it was a miscalibration. They hunted for the one variable that could miraculously help. Instead, our most flawless instruments triggered a scientific civil war. Dedicated teams, led by brilliant astronomers like Wendy Friedman and Adam Rees, spent years interrogating the stars. Friedman's early data relied on the majestic ignition of red giant stars. These ancient stars detonate their helium cores, creating a brilliant beacon. It suggested a slightly lower expansion rate, offering a fleeting glimmer of hope. But the universe does not align itself to our comfort. In April 2026, the sweeping H0DN collaboration released a definitive, inescapable verdict. Using multiple independent distance markers, they locked the local expansion rate. The number settled at an extraordinary 73.50 kilometers per second per megaparsec. This monumental measurement cemented a greater than 5 sigma tension in the unforgiving, hyper-precise realm of astrophysics. A 5 sigma result carries profound weight. It means the chance of a statistical glitch is less than 1 in a million. The sheer magnitude of this discovery forces us to abandon our safest assumptions. The fracture is entirely real. The error is not in our lenses, and it is not in our atmospheric calibrations. The error is in the fundamental equations of existence itself. We have built an omniscient eye capable of seeing the dawn of time, only to realize the geometry of space is breaking its own rules right outside our own front door. The universe is stretching in a way that openly defies the very physics that supposedly govern it. While the space telescopes stared at individual, dazzling beacons, an entirely different machine was interrogating the profound emptiness between them. The Dark Energy Spectroscopic Instrument, DSE, utilizes 5,000 robotic fibers. It maps the ancient light of millions of galaxies from a lonely mountain peak in Arizona. The instrument is designed to trace baryon acoustic oscillations. These are essentially frozen sound waves rippling through the primordial plasma. By mapping them, astronomers can track how dark energy has influenced the void over 11 billion years. Under the Standard Model, dark energy is the eternal, unchanging engine that pushes existence apart. It is supposed to be the absolute, unwavering anchor of everything. But in March 2025, the DESI collaboration published a revelation that shattered that century-old assumption. Their sprawling map revealed a chilling 4.2 sigma preference for a dynamically evolving dark energy. The invisible force stretching reality is not constant at all. It is actively bleeding away. We are watching the fundamental parameters of reality actively rewrite themselves. Imagine you are sitting in a car, accelerating down a blindingly dark, ice-covered highway. For your entire life, you assumed the engine was producing a constant, steady thrust. You believed flawless, unbreakable mechanics governed it. But suddenly, you feel the physical momentum shift. The car is still moving forward into the cold, but the invisible foot is gently lifting off the accelerator. Dark energy itself is fluctuating, its weight shifting in the silence. The void is not an empty, passive theater where galaxies quietly drift. It is a wild, shifting ocean, and the deep currents are changing direction. We are riding a wave that is actively losing its terrifying momentum. If dark energy is weakening, the structural integrity of modern physics completely collapses. The concept of a rigid, eternal vacuum energy is essentially dead. This forces theoretical physicists to draft entirely new, bewildering architectures of existence. Some researchers point to a sublime concept: interact in holographic dark energy. This breathtaking framework suggests that the universe functions like an unfathomable, grand hologram. The invisible energy pushing galaxies apart is inherently tied to the information density of the cosmic horizon. It implies that existence itself is a projection. As the boundaries of the universe stretch and expand, the fundamental energy itself is forced to mutate. Other theorists suggest an even more extraordinary possibility. They argue that on the largest, most incomprehensible scales of the void, The eternal gravity equations Albert Einstein wrote quietly begin to fail. To test these fractured, radical theories, the European Space Agency sent the Euclid Space Telescope into orbit. It is drifting in the cold, hunting for gravitational lenses. These are vast rips in space-time, revealing the dark's hidden architecture. We are staring into an abyss that refuses to obey the rules we invented for it. Every new, luminous distortion Euclid discovers pulls us further from the reassuring mechanics we once trusted. Our beautifully constructed mathematics are cracking under the crushing weight of a dynamic, wildly unpredictable existence. The equations that carried us to the moon and mapped the edges of the solar system are no longer sufficient to explain the deep void. We are no longer mapping a static landscape. We are trying to measure a furious storm while we are permanently trapped inside it. We are left facing the most profound paradigm shift in a century. The haunting data shows it peaked deep in the past. It hit its maximum intensity when the universe was at exactly 70% of its current age. Today, it is roughly 10% weaker and still somehow miraculous. This specific, undeniable trajectory completely annihilates the illusion of the cosmological constant. The sheer scale of this transformation forces us to view the cosmos not as a machine, but as an evolving entity. For generations, humanity believed that the current, swift expansion of the void was an eternal, immortal law of nature. We thought the universe would stretch endlessly into a cold, unbroken dark. We believed the world would fade gracefully into infinite silence. But this current epoch of acceleration might be a temporary weather system in the dark. It could be a fleeting gust of wind in an ancient, uncaring sky. A centuries-old stone bridge has spanned the ravine for as long as anyone can remember. Walk across it, and the stone feels ancient, solid, and unshakable. But deep inside the granite, a hairline fracture has been spreading in silence for decades, and one final tremor could send the whole structure into the water below. Our centuries-old understanding of space-time is that unshakable bridge. The recent gravitational discoveries are the tremor. The invisible forces that govern the void are fully capable of aging, tiring, and transforming. The laws of physics are not a dusty museum of frozen rules. They are a living, breathing, dangerous puzzle. We are only seeing one fleeting frame of an incomprehensibly vast motion picture. If the invisible engine driving everything apart continues to decay, it will inevitably drop into the negative. The violent expansion will slow, and the universe will hesitate in the breathless dark. Finally, it will reverse and turn back. Everything we have ever mapped, every sprawling galaxy and brilliant star could collapse back upon itself. This breathtaking reversal would rewrite the final chapter of cosmic history. It would end in a crushing singularity, the Big Crunch. Astrophysicist Eleonora Di Valentino has spent years studying these exact anomalies, arguing that they point toward missing ingredients in our standard model of the cosmos. The dark is holding monumental secrets we do not yet have the language to read. We are standing at the edge of an immense, shifting geometry. Every breath you take is a mathematical impossibility. Every telescope we send into the freezing void is a tiny, beautiful act of rebellion against an existence that trends towards silence and decay. We refuse to go quietly into the infinite. The universe is a churning ocean of violent forces, indifferent to our theoretical models, our equations, and our fragile existence. The eternal laws of existence are shifting their weight beneath us, luminous even now. But standing here on this fragile shore, watching the architecture of space-time fracture in the dark, we are the only thing anywhere still looking up, awestruck.